Hi again. It's Easy English with Colleen. Today's video is made for teens and adults. The level is sort of between beginner and intermediary. And it's another random topic. And today's topic is something that we have experienced in France recently over the weekend. It was a heat wave. So, can you tell me what is a heat wave? How would you define a heat wave? Obviously, it's something hot and it sort of crashes in you like a wave. What can you tell me about a heat wave? Have you ever been in a heat wave? They're becoming more frequent um, because of climate change. We're getting hotter weather. So, over the weekend, here in France, we had temperatures of 33 degrees Celsius and 34 degrees Celsius. And for France, that is abnormally hot. So it's not the average normal temperature for the middle of June. So because it's not normal, we call it abnormal. It's not normal. It's something exceptional. It's something we don't expect. So these temperatures were so hot. Yes, I ran into a woman in my village, and it was still the morning, but she was carrying a big umbrella to protect herself from the sun, and she just was saying, "Ah, it's horrible, this heat." So people in France are not accustomed to those temperatures. So when the temperatures get that high, um, you say it's a heat wave. But I've lived in other countries where it can get up to 50 degrees Celsius. When I lived in Abu Dhabi, when I visited Qatar, countries like that, um, sometimes in Lebanon, um, even in Azerbaijan when I lived there, sometimes the temperatures would get, above 40. But the worst heat I've ever experienced was 51 degrees when I was in Abu Dhabi. Oh my God. You step outside and you just immediately start to sweat. And so you have to go everywhere in a car and have air conditioning all the time. Not for the whole year, but when it gets hot in the spring and summer. So I looked up some facts about heat waves. And I was thinking about this topic because um, we've had a heat wave here in France. Uh, so I didn't make any videos. I was just trying to stay cool and wait it out. Um, but I was in France um, in 2003, and they had a huge heat wave. I was in tour for that summer, and the temperatures were, for quite some time, were 40, 41. Oh, it was just awful. And I was taking a French course at the time, and the school I was at, there were no ACs, there were no air conditioners because France is not accustomed to these kind of temperatures, it's abnormal. So everyone, we were going to class every day. Oh, the professor would be sweating. Everyone in class was dying. It felt like there was no air. So, and um, that summer, because of the extreme heat, the abnormal heat, uh, it there were people at risk of dying, and they did die. And I looked up the statistics today, and it said that during that period of heat wave, the canicule in France, 70 died. Imagine. So the vulnerable people, the people at risk, are the elderly, people who are already suffering from some kind of illness, and the very young, so infants, babies. So yeah, it was extreme. It was extreme, and yeah, the River Loire just it went down. The water went down, 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 down. There were mosquitoes flying. Oh my God! And another thing that they don't have in France that you have in other countries, in Canada, you have them too. Um, Not so much for mosquitoes, maybe, but for flies, house flies. Um, but the apartment that we were renting, it didn't have screens on the windows. So at night, we were being attacked by swarms of mosquitoes. Oh my goodness. So finally, we couldn't put screens on the windows, but it was too hot to keep the windows closed. So finally, I found this little gadget device that um, puts some kind of chemical in the air um, to um, stop the mosquitoes from coming in. It's some kind of smell, or I don't know how it works. I don't even remember what it was called. But it repels the mosquitoes. They don't like this odor um, or chemical, and so they don't come in. So we plug that in. I think I might have bought it at a pharmacy. So I guess it wasn't harmful to people, but the mosquitoes didn't like it at all, and so they stopped flying around all night and buzzing and buzzing and buzzing and biting us. Um, so yeah, so we weren't hiding under the covers after that. So a couple of other statistics I found about heat waves. In the year 2022, in China, there was a heat wave that lasted more than 70 days. Wow. Imagine. How many months is 70 days? More than 2 months. Whoa, that's just awful. And again in 2022, in the UK, they reached a temperature of 40.3 degrees Celsius, which broke the previous record for the highest temperature. So, yeah, heat waves can be unpleasant, but they can also be dangerous. So, let me know in the comments, have you ever experienced a heat wave? Where was it? What was the temperature? And what was your experience of that? So, let me know. I'd love to hear from you, and see you soon.